Alright, so this is my LGBTQ studies final presentation by Scotty Matney. That's me. So I started with the things that stuck out to me from the speakers. The first one was from Joe LeBlanc. That was the idea of polyamory, loving and being in a committed relationship with more than one person at a time. This was something that I had heard about in the past, but never really researched. And so it kind of stuck out to me as something that I've learned. And I just because one person in the relationship is polyamorous doesn't mean that the others are necessarily. And that wasn't something that had really occurred to me in thinking about polyamory in the past. So that was kind of a new concept to me. The next is Jessica Pettit, and that was the idea of compassionate exhaustion. When you care about something so much that you don't get anything done due to being so angry. And I knew what, that idea was, but it was the whole putting words to it, like an actual name, to where you're so upset about something that you're not thinking logically. You can't figure out what you can do to make it better. And that was something that kind of really stuck with me, and was kind of an important thing that was brought to my attention. My next one is from Bruce Rohr, The Steps to Becoming a Good Activist. Be public, be present, be vocal. I thought that was kind of just a short, sweet, and to the point way to kind of put it. Be public, so be out in the open, be around people, and be unashamed to be who you are. Whether, you're an ally or you're a member of the community. Be present. So when you're out, actually be there. Don't just have your face in your phone or whatever. Actually be there interacting with other people. And be vocal. Don't be afraid to say your opinions and to stand up for what you believe. And these three things I think are just really important, and so they kind of stuck out to me as something that I remembered from this term. The next couple slides are from the readings. This first one is from The Complexity of Identity, and that was the task of resisting our own oppression does not relieve us of the responsibility of acknowledging our complicity in the oppression of others. So basically, just because we're oppressed in one way doesn't mean that we don't benefit from privilege in other areas. So, like myself, I face oppression through being LGBTQ, but I also acknowledge that I benefit from white privilege. And it's really important to keep yourself in check and acknowledge that you do have those privileges that other people might not. Number 5 was from Nature, Nurture, and Identity. And the quote was, "We are all responsible for our sexual orientation, but that does not mean that we freely and consciously choose that orientation." And that was just it kind of stuck out for me because I believe that, we are who we are. We don't choose to make our lives harder through being LGBTQ, that we are, born this way. And so it kind of just stuck out to me that somebody else would believe that as well, and that would be something, on other people's radar. This next one was from the statistics that were about the trans people. This one is the mistreatment of trans students in school. 54% verbally harassed, 24% physically attacked, 13% sexually assaulted. This really stuck out to me because those are really big numbers, and these are just kids, and so it really bothers me that there's such a high number of people that are being attacked or harassed in schools for just being who they are. One of my additional learnings was asexual, a person who does not experience sexual attraction. This one was kind of a new concept to me, I hadn't really thought about this being a sexual orientation. But, it's valid just like all the other identities. And I just kind of learned that asexuality is a thing. I didn't really know about it in the past. Something also was two-spirit, which was the general term used for Native Americans who are transgender and highly regarded in the tribe. I had heard about two-spirit in the past, but again, it was something that I never really put too much research into. But it kind of, it makes sense. And so it kind of stuck out to me as something that I had learned. The whole identity of questioning, people who are uncertain, self-analyzing their sexual orientation or gender identity. We all kind of have this phase where we're questioning and we're trying to figure ourselves out and our identity. And I just hadn't thought of it as being part of the whole acronym. So it was something that kind of stuck out to me as kind of an aha moment, that is an identity within itself, is that whole phase of questioning, who am I and how do I feel? Something that stuck out to me from the coming out monologues was Louis' story of coming out as HIV positive. It never really was something that occurred to me that you would have to, come out again after getting a positive diagnosis. That would be a whole experience in of itself, and how to, talk to your family and your friends. And, in Louis' story, it really stuck with me throughout the term. It was emotional, and it really, really just stuck with me. So as far as the future, I think that it holds both positive and negative steps for the LGBTQ community. In the more immediate future, I see that there's going to be some more backslides for the LGBTQ rights because of the current administration. We may lose some more rights that we have fought for. We may see more discrimination that's okay by the government. Less acceptance. But overall, in the future, I see more acceptance. I see, regaining what rights that we may have lost or are going to lose in the short term. I see more people fighting for equality, more people coming out as allies, more people, just accepting the community for who they are, in the world, in the US especially. The younger generations are generally more accepting and more leaning towards equality for all people. And so I think, as time goes on, these things are going to become more and more mainstream to be accepting, and, we'll gain more and more rights. And the map with the, where discrimination is okay in so many states, hopefully more and more states will become darker green states. And we'll just get more and more protections against, discrimination, and we'll keep fighting the fight, and things will get better. And that's the end. So thank you for watching, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day and a wonderful finals week.